Good morning, all of you. Welcome to Sri Jayendra Rank Zone. Now, in this lecture, we are going to discuss some more topics in environmental chemistry. This is lecture number 3 in environmental chemistry. This chapter is very important. Definitely, you are going to get one question for entrance examination because it is important regarding knowledge-wise for everyone. So let us start now. Stratospheric pollutants, depletion of ozone layer. The upper stratosphere consisting of considerable amount of ozone, which protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiations. Lambda is 255 nanometers coming from the sun. These radiations cause skin cancer in humans, melanoma in humans. Therefore, it is important to maintain the ozone shield, that is ozone umbrella. Ozone shield or ozone umbrella is important to maintain. So ozone in the stratosphere is the product of UV radiations acting on dioxygen molecules. The ultraviolet radiations split apart molecular oxygen into free oxygen atoms. And these free oxygen atoms, that is called nascent oxygens, are very reactive and they convert atmospheric oxygen into ozone. Nascent oxygen converts atmospheric oxygen into ozone. So this is harmful. Next continuation. These oxygen atoms combine with the molecular oxygen, as I told you. These oxygen atoms, nascent oxygen atoms, combines with molecular oxygen atom to form ozone. So finally, it forms ozone. Ozone is thermodynamically unstable and decomposes to molecular oxygen. Thus, a dynamic equilibrium existing between the production and decomposition of ozone molecules. And this equilibrium makes greenhouse effect. In recent years, there have been reports of the depletion of ozone layer, protective ozone layer, because of the presence of certain chemicals in the stratosphere. The main reason of ozone layer depletion is believed to be the release of chlorofluorocarbons, that is known as freons. These compounds are non-reactive, non-flammable, non-toxic organic molecules and therefore used in refrigerators, air conditioners, in the production of plastic foam, and by the electronic industry for cleaning computer parts, etc. So these CFCs are nothing but it is used for these are also called as freons. These compounds are non-reactive, non-flammable, non-toxic organic molecules and therefore used in refrigerators, air conditioners, in the production of plastic foam, and by the electronic industry for the cleaning computers, etc. So it's our important thing that we should use less of these products, that is refrigerator. But nowadays it's difficult to maintain the house without refrigerator, air conditioner. Once CFCs are released in the atmosphere, they mix up with the normal atmosphere gases and eventually reach the stratosphere. In stratosphere, they get broken down by powerful ultraviolet radiations, releasing chlorine-free radicals. So these chlorine-free radicals then react with stratospheric ozone to form chlorine monoxide radicals and molecular oxygen. So this total process you have to listen carefully. Easily you can understand by seeing the PPTs only. Reaction of chlorine monoxide radical. So this chlorine monoxide radical combines nascent oxygen and forms chlorine gas along with oxygen gas. The chlorine radicals are continuously regenerated and cause the breakdown of ozone. Thus, CFCs are transporting agents for continuously generating chlorine radicals in the stratosphere and damaging the ozone layer. These chlorine radicals will damage the ozone layer, cause depletion in the ozone layer. So, indirectly, CFCs are causing depletion of ozone layer. What happens to CFCs? When CFCs are released in the atmosphere, chlorine radical is formed. This chlorine radical damages the ozone layer. This chlorine radical damages the ozone layer, and so that the ultraviolet radiations are coming close to the Earth's surface, and which makes skin cancer. In 1980s, the atmospheric scientists working in Antarctica reported about depletion of ozone layer in the year 1980 only, commonly known as ozone hole over the South Pole. It was found that unique set of conditions was responsible for the ozone hole in In summer season, nitrogen dioxide and methane react with chlorine monoxide and chlorine atoms, forming chlorine sinks, preventing much depletion, ozone depletion. So chlorine sink, very important. This topic is. Please listen carefully. It's very easy and important also. Whereas in winter, special types of clouds called polar clouds, polar stratospheric clouds are formed over Antarctica. These polar stratospheric clouds provide surface on which chlorine nitrate formed gets hydrolyzed to form hypochlorous acid, that is HOCl. Reaction 6. It also reacts with hydrogen chloride as produced as per reaction to give molecular chlorine. So molecular chlorine is responsible for the depletion of ozone layer. So this is called hypochlorous acid, HOCl. This HOCl combines with nitric acid and forms chlorine gas along with nitric acid. When sunlight returns to Antarctica in the spring, the sun's warmth breaks up the clouds and HOCl and Cl2 so formed are photolyzed by sunlight as given in reactions. So HOCl, the presence of sunlight forms OH radical and Cl radical. This dotted bunch is called radicals and Cl2 breaks up into Cl radical. The chlorine radicals thus formed initiate the chain reaction for the ozone depletion as described earlier. So he found that the chlorine radicals are responsible for the ozone depletion. With the depletion of ozone later, more UV radiations filters into the troposphere. UV radiations led to aging of skin. Because of this, soon nowadays we are facing a lot of problems. That is aging of skin, cataract, sunburn, skin cancer, killing of many phytoplanktons, damage to fish productivity, etc. It has also been reported that plant proteins gets easily affected by UV radiations, which leads to the harmful mutation of cells. It also increases evaporation of surface water through the stomata of the leaves and decrease the moisture content of the soil. Increase in UV radiations damage paints and fibers, causing them to fade faster. So these are the harmful effects of UV radiations, that is ultraviolet radiations. Next, so these are the nothing but we have done up to air pollution now. Next concept we have water pollution. So due to these two pollutions, we are facing a lot of problems. So water is the most essential for all living beings, both plants and animals. It covers nearly three-fourths of Earth's surface. Already we know three-fourths of Earth is covered with water in the form of oceans, snow, or mountains as liquid in oceans, lakes, rivers, and ponds. Since water is primarily used for drinking, the quality of drinking water is very vital factor that is causing problems to all countries of the world, particularly the developing and underdeveloped countries like India. So drinking water is a major problem now we are facing because of this pollution. Actually, water has a property to dissolve. Water has the property to dissolve a large number of compounds, both organic as well as inorganic. Moreover, it remains as a liquid over a wide range of temperatures from 0 to 100 degrees C. This already we know because the melting point of water is 0 degrees C and the boiling point of water is 100 degrees C. Water is quite often regarded as universal solvent. This property of the water is a major cause of pollution since the salts and organic matter dissolve in water and contaminate it. Water pollution may be defined as the change in the normal properties of water, physical, chemical, and biological, by the presence of foreign materials. So, the change in the normal properties of water, physical, chemical, and biological, by the presence of foreign materials. So, that is called water pollution, nothing but change in normal properties of water. So, water pollution can be caused in a number of ways. First, very important, water pollution, organic pollutants. The list of organic pollutants is very large. It includes manures waste from food processing industry, drags, paper discards, decaying plants, etc., and other organic waste. So whatever we are producing the waste, human waste, are nothing but we are giving it to water only. So all of them cause pollution of water. These are decomposed by aerobic bacteria into carbon dioxide, nitrates, sulfates, phosphates, etc. But they take up dissolved oxygen from water. As a result, the oxygen contents in water decrease considerably. So as the oxygen content decreases, the water gets polluted. So that's why all the steps we have to take in place that water should be purified well. This causes death of aquatic animals, particularly the fish. It may be noted that anaerobic bacteria do not need oxygen from the decomposition of the organic matter. What is this anaerobic bacteria? Do not need oxygen from the decomposition of organic matter. However, some toxic gases like hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, phosphate, methane, etc., are produced. These are quite often noticed in the sewage waste. We know that the presence of oxygen in water is quite essential for the aquatic life. So, dissolved oxygen should be there for aquatic life. The quantity of the oxygen consuming waste in water can be determined in terms of biological oxygen demand. The quantity of oxygen consuming wastes in water can be determined in terms of biological oxygen demand. It may be defined as the amount of oxygen in milligrams dissolved in water needed to break down the organic matter present in 1 liter of water for 5 days at 20 degrees C. This is called biological oxygen demand. What is BOD? Again, I repeat the statement. The amount of oxygen in milligrams dissolved in water needed to break down the organic matter present in 1 liter of water. So, number of milligrams of oxygen needed by number of liters of the sample is equal to BOD for 5 days at 20 degrees C. Next, pure water contains BOD from 0 to 3 ppm. In case BOD is 5 ppm, that is parts per million, or little more, this means that water is somewhat contaminated. Thus, BOD gives an idea of extent of organic waste present in water. Sometimes the water in the vicinity of factories is found to be have BOD as high as 1000 ppm. This means that it is highly contaminated. You can see that river water where the factory waste are going. If you see the BOD values for that river water, 100% it is more than 1000 ppm. So, in addition to the organic waste products, certain other chemical substances react with oxygen dissolved in water, and this is known as chemical oxygen demand (COD). So, what is COD? Let us see now. Thus, oxygen dissolved in water carries the oxidation of both organic and inorganic waste materials present in water. If their value are high, this means the water is highly polluted, and in case the values are low, the pollution of water is comparatively less. As a result of sewage contamination, water becomes brownish and oily. It has a foul smell and very bad taste. It is injurious to both plant and animal life. So, due to this, most of the aquatic animals are dying because of pollution in water. So, this need to be pay attention so that now the compounds of lead, mercury, cadmium, nickel, cobalt, zinc, etc., which are the parts of chemical reaction carried in the industrial units, also pollute water to a large extent and are responsible for many diseases. Mercury leads to many disease, Miniamta disease, and lead poisoning leads to various types of deformities. In addition to this, these chemical substances become a part of soil. They harmfully affect the plant growth and soil bed biota. Both groundwater and water bodies are polluted due to the chemical reactions known as leaching. Leaching is a process in which the impurities are dissolved in a solvent. So water is a solvent, the impurities will be dissolving in the water, so which leads to the formation of complex compounds, that is leaching. So leaching is a process, it is a process in which the impurities are dissolved in a solvent. Impurities are dissolved in a solvent. Impurities are dissolved in a solvent. So that's why this leaching is very, very important process. We'll do it in metallurgy in 12th class. But in water, leaching takes place. Due to this, what happens? Many impurities are dissolving in water. Next, bioamplification. What is this bioamplification? Increase in concentration of pollutant on moving from lower organism to higher organism is called bioamplification. The increase in concentration of pollutant on moving from lower organism to higher organism is known as bioamplification. So now by listening to this class, you will understand how much dangerously we are living in the earth's crust. In the earth, we will be noticing. These are the chemical substances which are added to the soil to provide the essential minerals containing nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. Fertilizers. The common fertilizers are calcium ammonium nitrate, urea, triple superphosphate, potassium sulfate, potassium nitrate, etc. So almost nitrogenous compounds, all nitrogenous compounds, nitrogenous and phosphorus and sulfur compounds are called as fertilizers. So most of the nitrogenous compounds are fertilizers. However, a certain part of these fertilizers react with water chemically known as leaching and pollute the underground water. And nowadays we are using underground water only for drinking in the form of purifiers. When this water is used for drinking purpose containing potassium nitrate in particular, it harms the respiratory system. Moreover, the presence of extra minerals in water is also harmful to many crops. So care should be taken that water must be purified well. Next is eutrophication. What is eutrophication? Very, very important. What is eutrophication? It is dying of a lake due to excess of waste of phosphates, nitrates, minerals introduced into water. Due to rich minerals in water, algae growth increases, DO level decreases, and lakes gets dried up. We have seen so many lakes are being dried up in the past years because of this reason only. That is due to excess waste of phosphates, nitrates, minerals introduced into water. Due to rich minerals in water, algae growth increases, DO level of water decreases, and the lake gets dried up. What is DO means? Dissolved oxygen, as you already know. Next, pesticides. These also will used for farming. These include insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, rodenticides, etc. These are mostly chemically chlorinated hydrocarbons, organophosphates, metallic salts, etc. What are pesticides? It contains chlorinated hydrocarbons, organophosphates, and metallic salts. A few common pesticides are DDT, Eldrin, BHC, benzene hexachlorine, heptachlor, etc. These are quite useful since they boost the agriculture yield by protecting the crops from pests. But the use of pesticides also has very harmful effect. So for one thing we are using, but it is giving other thing. So what is DDT also, you know? So these pesticides dissolve in water to small extent and pollute it. Since all the pesticides are toxic in nature, they are injurious to both plants and animals. The frequent use of pesticides without proper control and choice can lead to deformities in fetus, nervous system, stomach, cancer, darkened skin, and can also cause damage to eyes. The excess use of pesticides has resulted in defoliation of forests. Defoliation of forests. So due to these pesticides, the plants will not grow properly. Next, pollution of water continued. Pollution of water by acids. You know, acid rains. Acid rains, acid polluted water that is pH less than 3 is very harmful to the aquatic life. We have already discussed the acid rain. Rainwater containing high proportion of the acid mixes with seawater and pollutes it. In addition, the industrial waste, particularly iron pyrites, are slowly converted into sulfuric acid as a result of series of reactions and increase the acidity of water. So acid rain causes lot of difficulties. These are recently formed. These are the recently formed chemical compounds which are used as fluids. These are nothing but pyochlorinated compounds. What are these called? Next we have pyochlorinated biphenyls. Pyo polychlorinated biphenyls. Biphenyl means two molecules of CCH5. Very, very difficult and very harmful. These are the recently formed chemical compounds which are used as fluids in transformers and capacitors. Being resistant to oxidation, these are released in the atmosphere as vapors. They mix with rainwater and then contaminate water. These have been found to be carcinogenic. Carcinogenic means cancer causing substances. Cancer causing substances and thus a source of pollution. And thus they are source of pollution. So carcinogenic means cancer causing substances. So these are nothing but what? Polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs. Next, what are the internal standards for drinking water? The internal standards for drinking water are given below and they must be followed. Fluoride. For drinking purposes, water should be tested for fluoride ion concentration. Its deficiency in drinking water is harmful to man and causes death such as tooth decay, etc. and causes such as tooth decay, etc. Soluble fluids is often added to drinking water to bring its concentration up to 1 ppm or 1 milligram per decimeter cube, 1 milligram per liter. So this is the internal standard for drinking water measurements. The fluid ions. So water should contain fluid ions. If the fluid ions are in excess, again it is a problem. The fluid ions make the enamel on teeth much harder by converting hydroxyapatite, that is calcium phosphate, calcium hydroxide, the enamel of the surface of the teeth into much harder fluoropatite, that is calcium phosphate and calcium fluoride. So due to this fluid ions, it will attack the calcium phosphate, calcium hydroxide, that is hydroxyapatite, which is present on the enamel on the teeth, will change into fluoropatite. Fluoropatite formula is Ca3PO4, that is calcium phosphate along with calcium fluoride. However, fluorine ion concentration above 2 ppm causes brown mottling of teeth. The teeth becomes brown colored. At the same time, excess of fluoride over 10 ppm causes harmful effect to bones and teeth, as reported from some parts of Rajasthan. There, people become physically handicapped because of this fluorine contained, physically handicapped because they have got handicapped persons because of this fluorinated water, which is over 10 ppm. So everything should be normal. Now, detection of fluorine ion in water. Zirconium alizarin S dye is used to detect fluorine ion in water. The deep color of this dye gets decolorized due to the presence of fluorine ion in water. So in this way, this is available in all the pharmacy. This is fertilizer shops. Zirconium alizarin S dye. It is used to detect fluorine ions in water. Lead. Drinking water gets contaminated with lead when lead pipes are used for transportation of water. The prescribed upper limit concentration of lead in drinking water is about 50 ppb. Lead can damage kidney, liver, reproductive system, etc. So that's why it is very, very important that we have to see all these standards. But nowadays we are unable to follow all this because of urbanization. Excessive sulfate that is greater than 500 ppm in drinking water causes laxity effect. Otherwise, at moderate levels, it is harmless. Nitrate. The maximum limit of nitrate in drinking water is 50 ppm. Excess nitrate in drinking water can cause diseases such as methemoglobinemia, blue baby syndrome. So all these points are important for entrance examinations. Other metals, the maximum concentration of some common metals recommended in drinking water are given in table. Maximum prescribed concentration of some metals in drinking water. Usually by using these values only, they'll select the purifiers also. Here the iron should be 0.2, manganese 0.05, aluminium 0.2, copper 3, zinc 5, and cadmium. These are the standard measurements of the minerals should present in water, and these are good for drinking. Next continuation. So these are about water pollutions. Now more about water pollution we'll discuss now, and how to remove this water pollution also we'll discuss. Yes, let us start now. Next continuation, soil pollution. So water pollution is finished. Next is soil pollution. So air pollution, water pollution, and last topic in this chapter is soil pollution. Let us see. Soil pollution is the adverse alternation in the properties of the soil due to dumping of solid and semi-solid waste from agriculture, industry, and urban areas in the soil. It also results because of washing down of air pollutants by rain and faulty sanitation in the soil. However, soil pollution is different from air and water pollution in the following respects. When compared to air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution is less intensity. Soil pollutants do not get dispersed unlike air. Soil pollutants do not get dispersed unlike air and water pollutants. That's why it is less harmful when compared to air pollution and water pollution. The pollution is localized unlike air and water pollution. Localized. The pollutants remain at a particular place for a relatively longer period. So the soil pollution is different from air pollution and water pollution. What are the sources of soil pollution? Faulty agriculture practices. In the present era, the major thrust is to get more yields of the crop and on intensive farming because of the population and demand of food. Because of the demand of food and more population, in the present era, the major thrust means, is used to get more yields of the crop and on intensive farming. This implies the use of lot of fertilizers, pesticides, weedicides, etc. So we can increase the crop farming by using the lot of fertilizers, pesticides, and weedicides, but these are not good for health. All of them are chemical substances, and from the soil they pass to the groundwater and are harmful to the aquatic animals. Moreover, water develops foul smell, bad taste, also acquires some brown color. This already you have seen in Chennai. In Chennai municipal water, if you take into consideration Chennai municipal water, you will see it is brownish in color. That's why people are not using municipal water for drinking. If you see Chennai municipal water, you can understand they are in brown color. That is due to pollution only, water pollution. Industrial waste. Most of the raw materials used in the industry are converted into waste products like scrap, fly ash, and effluents, etc. They get mixed with soil. However, these are mostly toxic due to the presence of certain cyanides, chromates, acids, alkalis, and metals like nickel, cadmium, mercury, lead, etc. So these are mostly toxic due to the presence of certain cyanide. Cyanide is already we know it is very toxic, chromates, acid, alkalis, and so on. So that's why from the industrial wastes also soil get polluted. Urban waste this is also a major factor. A lot of urban waste consisting of domestic refuse, commercial aspect that is commercial waste, rubbish from the construction sites, and sewage treatment plants slowly mix up with the soil, in addition to pollution such as foul smell, breeding places for flies, mosquitoes, and mice, etc. So this is a major threat for soil pollution. Next, we have fourth one, faulty sanitation. Faulty sanitation means soil also gets contaminated because of animal dungs. You know what is animal dung? Bird droppings and digested sewage sludge. They contain a number of pathogenic organisms which infect human beings such as dysentery, plague, and cholera, etc. So we may get cholera also by using this type of things. Next, we have radioactive materials. A large number of laboratories, including hospitals, release some radioisotopes. Similarly, radioactive wastes are also produced in the nuclear reactors. Nuclear explosions also produce a large number of radioactive wastes which get mixed with the soil. And from the soil, they pass to the human beings in the form of food containing radioactive carbon, iodine, strontium, etc. These radioactive nuclides emit gamma rays, which are extremely injurious to human body cells and malfunctioning and affect the functioning of the cells. We have so far discussed the pollution resulting from air, water, and soil. Yes, we have discussed all the three types of pollution that is air, water, and soil. In addition to these, pesticides are the major pollutions. In addition to this, pesticides are the major pollutants. These are the chemical substances which contaminate our food as well as drinking water. In fact, their major role is to kill or block the reproductive processes in organisms which are not needed and thus save the soil from the pests. These have been classified in three types. What are the three types of pesticides? Insecticides. Insecticides are the chemical substances which destroy the bacteria, causing malaria and yellow fever. Yellow fever is very, very dangerous. Moreover, they also protect the crops from various insects. The best known insecticide is dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, DDT. Dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. Since it is an organochlor compound, the chlorine acts as toxic to insects. It also does not dissolve in water and there is no danger of causing water pollution. However, the major disadvantage is because of this non-biodegradable nature. DDT is non-biodegradable, due to which what happens, it causes pollution. Next, insecticides continued, it gets accumulated in the environment and has many harmful effects. So due to its biodegradable property, it gets accumulated in the environment and has many harmful effects. It is no longer being used and is replaced by better insecticide like BHC. What is this BHC? Benzene hexachloride. Benzene hexachloride. This is called BHC. It is also called as triple six. Why it is called triple six? Because it's C6, H6, Cl6. In the market, it is available as triple six. You cannot ask go and ask BHC. If you ask triple six only, they can understand. So what is triple six means? It is nothing but hexachlorobenzene. What is hexachlorobenzene? That is nothing but C6H6Cl6. And nowadays, instead of DDT, we are using BHC, which leads to less pollution. Next, herbicides. These are the other types of pesticides. These are employed to kill weeds. Weeds means the common herbicides are sodium chloride and sodium arsenate, Na3SO3. But these are toxic towards mammals also. At present, organic herbicides like triazines are used as weed killers and have no adverse effect on human beings. Weeds means the unwanted things going on the water plants. Next, we have fungicides. Fungicides, as we all know, that are the plants. We all know that fungi, as we all know, are the plants without chlorophyll. Thus, they do not play any role to convert carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrates by making use of solar energy. These have been found to be injurious to human beings, and in order to destroy fungi, some fungicides are to be added. The common fungicides are the compounds of mercury. Very, very important. What are the common fungicides we have? They are the compounds of mercury. But these are of poisonous nature, and many deaths have been reported all over the world by the use of these fungicides. So these are the types of pesticides. Nowadays pesticides are also major threat to the pollution, major threat to the human life because of these pesticides. Next, after studying air, water, soil, and industrial waste pollution in this unit, by now you must have started feeling the need of controlling environmental pollution. Very, very important point. So everyone of us should realize that we are in how much dangerous position we are in now. So that's why, how can you save your immediate environment? Think of these steps, activities which you would like to undertake for controlling air, water, soil, and industrial waste pollution in your neighborhood. Here, an idea about the strategies for the management of waste is given. So this is very, very important because till now we have learned about all the types of pollutions, but now we are going to learn about how this pollution should be controlled. First, waste management. Solid waste is not only the waste which you see in your household garbage box. Besides household discards, there are medical, agriculture, industrial, and mining wastes. Mining wastes. The improper disposal of waste is one of the major causes of environmental degradation. Therefore, the management of waste is of utmost importance. So, this waste management means nothing but we should have to know the cycling, that is recycling process. Recycling process. That's why we should use always biodegradable substances only. Biodegradable, not non-biodegradable. If you use biodegradable substances, then we can easily avoid pollution. That's why we have almost everyone of us in our India country have banned plastic, that is polythene covers. We have banned already, ban polyethylene covers because it is non-biodegradable isomer. Polyethylene covers. That's why we are using jute bags now. So to some extent we can control, but not completely. Next, domestic wastes are collected in small bins. Always you should keep at your home small bins, which are then transferred to community bins by private or municipal workers. From these community bins, these are collected and carried out to the disposable site. At this site, garbage is sorted out and separated into biodegradable and non-biodegradable materials. Non-biodegradable materials such as plastic, glass, metal scraps, etc. are sent for recycling, whereas biodegradable wastes are deposited in the landfills and are converted into compost. So these are the major steps we have to take. That's why at home, always after listening this class, please, if you don't have dustbins at home, please buy a dustbin or a small bin which are used for collected for waste, domestic waste, and these are kept at home. And when the municipal workers comes, it should be transferred to community bins by private or municipal workers. Private means by ourselves or municipal worker. And we have to keep dry waste, dry waste as well as wet waste separately, so that it will be easy for them to separate into biodegradable and non-biodegradable materials. So in this way, we can reduce some pollution. The waste, if not collected in garbage bins, finds its way into the sewers. Some of it is eaten by cattle. Non-biodegradable waste like polythene bag, metal scraps, etc., choke the sewers and cause inconvenience. Polythene bags, if swallowed by cattle, can cost their lives also. In turn, if cattle is not there, we'll also get affected because we are getting milk products from cattle. So that's why it is very, very important to use dustbins at home. That is small bins. We cannot say garbage bins, we can say. As a normal practice, therefore, all domestic waste should be properly collected and disposed first. The poor management causes the health problems leading to epidemics due to contamination of groundwater. So that's why even beside your house also should not allow any person who is throwing dust, that is garbage bins on the road. If they throw it, we should give him lesson that he should not throw it, or else we should ask him to pay fine. So then automatically he'll also stop. So polythene bags, if swallowed by cattle, also can cost their lives also. That's why it's very important to maintain garbage bins at home, and that waste should be transported to community or municipal workers. That is most first thing you have to do. Second thing, it is especially hazardous for those who are in direct contact with the waste, such as rag pickers and workers involved in waste disposal, as they are the ones who handle waste materials mostly without protective devices such as gloves or waterproof boots and gas masks. Next, we have stated the major cause of environmental pollution by domestic waste is the release of toxic chemicals which are formed as a result of the process and reactions carried out at various levels. In other words, chemists are mainly responsible for polluting the atmosphere, although they manufacture products that are source of our comfort. This has forced them to change their output. Since 1990, a new concept called green chemistry has been introduced. What is introduced? Green chemistry. So, what is this green chemistry? It is nothing but, by green chemistry, we mean the production of substances of daily use by chemical reactions which neither employ toxic chemicals nor release the same to the atmosphere. So this is called green chemistry. No doubt this is altogether a new field, but some successes has been achieved. Efforts have been made to carry the reactions in the presence of ultraviolet sunlight known as photochemistry and with sound waves called sonochemistry. So microwaves have been used to carry reactions which neither toxic solvents now release such vapors into the atmosphere. So measures have been taken up and we should support that measures. Automobile hand engines have been fitted with catalytic converters which prevent the release of vapors of hydrocarbons and oxides of nitrogen into the atmosphere. These are the real culprits since they form poisonous substances such as formaldehyde, echolin, and PAN, that is peroxyacetyl nitrate. So carbon dioxide has replaced of chlorofluorocarbons as blowing agents in the manufacture of polystyrene foam sheets. So in this way, we can reduce. So whenever you are buying these things, you should ask whether it is consisting of catalytic converter or not. So these things everyone should follow. Then only we can have no pollution in the environment. Most of the countries are doing it. This has checked the release of chemicals into the environment which cause depletion of ozone layer. Similarly, some enzymes have been employed as biocatalysts in the manufacture of certain antibiotics such as ampicillin and amoxicillin. These are used for fever. Okay. A few noteworthy measures under the fold of green chemistry to check pollution are mentioned. So, what are the measurements we have to do? Let us see now. Very, very important. So, a commonly used dry cleaning solvent. A commonly used dry cleaning solvent is tetrachloroethene. It pollutes water and also carcinogenic. So this has been replaced by some other detergents which contain liquid carbon dioxide. These do not pollute water and give better results. So we have to see in the cleaning solvents, it should not contain tetrachloroethene. If it contains tetrachloroethene, it will pollute the soil and water, and it is also carcinogenic. Bleaching powder is commonly used in laundries for bleaching clothes. Hydrogen peroxide has been found to be a better alternative and it needs lesser amount of water. So instead of using bleaching powder, you have to use hydrogen peroxide so that it can. So these are the normal methods which we can reduce certain pollution. And so these methods are very important. All of you should note down in your password and you should maintain this till your life. Ionic cat is in the form of palladium and copper salts have been employed for the preparation of acetaldehyde from ethene by carrying oxidation with oxygen. The yield of ethanol is excellent, about 90%. So now the preparation of ethanol is being changed. It is from done by ethene along with oxygen, the presence of palladium or zinc in water. So that by this method, if you prepare formaldehyde, it is not at all harmful. So these are all coming under green chemistry. So you should have more adequate knowledge about green chemistry so that it will be useful for you and even you can tell to other people also which who doesn't know about this. So green chemistry is a major evolution in industry. This is just the beginning and the results are encouraging. We are sure our scientists, particularly the chemists, will be successful in developing as well as new techniques as well as chemicals to minimize pollution. All countries are giving importance to the study of biotechnology, which has a major role in checking pollution. That's what the course is all about. Biotechnology is about nothing but pollution only. That's why nowadays people are choosing biotechnology as a subject so that they can check the pollution at any times, due to which they can help the society. It is the duty of every individual to keep the environment free from pollution. So every one of us should be part of this. That's why this green chemistry and biotechnology, you have to develop more. In Western countries like Australia, New Zealand, they have developed green chemistry a lot. So with this, the explanation of this environmental chemistry is finished. Now what we have done in environmental chemistry, now I'll write some questions and afterwards we'll do summary of the chapter and let us share with the whiteboard now. So let us start now. MCQs. So what we have studied based on environmental pollution. So environmental chemistry, we have studied about air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution, industrial pollution. Environmental chemistry, what are the topics we have covered so far? Please listen carefully. What are the topics we have covered so far? Environmental chemistry. Topic number 1, air pollution. Next, water pollution. Next, soil pollution. And fourth one, we have industrial pollution. Industrial pollution. And fifth, we have methods to reduce the above pollutions. Methods to reduce pollution. So all the 5 topics we have done so far in these 3 lectures. Now we are going to discuss some important questions based on these lectures. So please follow it. All these points are important. In this chapter, we have only this, and even 6th point, we have terms related to pollution. Terms related to pollution. Atmosphere, that is stratosphere, lithosphere, BOD, COD, all will come. So all these things we have studied in this chapter. Now we are going to discuss questions on entire chapter. So please note it down. So MCQs, because from this chapter definitely you are going to get one question. So let us start now. MCQs. Question number 1. Identify the wrong statement. Identify the wrong statement in the following. Identify the wrong statement in the following. Option Y. Let us see now. CFCs are responsible for ozone layer depletion. This is medical 2018 question. CFCs are responsible for ozone layer depletion. Ozone layer depletion. Next, option B. Greenhouse effect is responsible for global warming. Greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect is responsible for global warming. Option C. Ozone layer permit. Ozone layer permits ultraviolet radiations from the sun to reach the earth. UV radiations from the sun to reach the earth. Next, fourth option we have. Acid rain is mostly because of oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. Acid rains are due to oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. Oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. So these are the four options we have. We need to identify the incorrect statement from this. So what is the incorrect statement? You can easily guess. Incorrect statement. Chlorofluorocarbons are responsible for ozone layer depletion. And second option, greenhouse effect is responsible for global warming. So first option, second option, third option, fourth option. So answer is third option because ozone layer does not permit. Ozone layer does not permit actually UV radiations from the sun to reach the earth. So incorrect statement is C. Does not means I'm writing here, but no need to write. So ozone layer permit UV radiations is a wrong statement. Remaining all are right statements. Next question, question number 2. So the first question what we had discussed, this has come for Neet 2008 question. Next, important sinks for carbon dioxide are important sink for carbon dioxide are option A, it is oceans. Option B, it is plants. Option C, it is microorganisms. So plants, oceans, microorganisms, and option D, it is all of these. So what is the answer? The mainly important things for carbon dioxide are oceans. So the answer is what? It is nothing but ocean. Ocean is a sink for carbon dioxide. Next question. Next question. The acceptable level of carbon monoxide gas. The acceptable level of carbon monoxide gas in the atmosphere in ppm level is in the atmosphere in ppm level is option A, it is 9 ppm, option B, it is 250, option C, it should be 49, and option D, it should be 850. So always carbon monoxide should be in less ppm. So the answer is 49 ppm. Permissible level of carbon monoxide is how much? It is equal to 49 ppm. So please make a note of this. Next question. Question number 4. Question number 4 now. Cataract and skin cancer. Cataract and skin cancer can be caused by option A, it is depletion of nitric acid, depletion of nitric oxide, NO. Option B is depletion of ozone layer, depletion of ozone layer. Option C, it is increase in methane, increase in methane in the atmosphere, increase in CH4. And option D, it is depletion of nitrous oxide, depletion of nitrous oxide N2O. So straight away we can say the answer, it is depletion of ozone layer, which causes skin cancer and cataract. Depletion of ozone layer always leads to skin cancer and cataract. Next question. Question number 5. This question number 5 is important. It has come from NEET 2014 question. So what are X and Y? What are X and Y in the following reaction? What are X and Y in the following reactions? First option, that is option A. Sorry, first we have to write the reaction. CF2Cl2, that is chlorofluorocarbons, in the presence of sunlight forms compounds X plus Y. What are X and Y? So answer, first option we have, that is first option, CF2Cl, CF2Cl, comma, Cl dot, that is chlorine radical. The Cl dot is called what? Chlorine radical. Next, C2F4 dot, radical of C2F4, comma, chlorine gas. That is X and Y. Option C, radical of CFCl2, comma, fluorine radical. So two radicals it is forming. Just example they are given. Next, option D, it is CCl2, comma, fluorine. CCl2, comma, fluorine. So you already know it forms chlorine radical. So answer for this is first option. It is first option, CF2Cl dot Cl. So it forms CF2Cl plus dot Cl. This is called chlorine radical. What is this called? Chlorine radical. Chlorine radical. So please make a note of this. Very, very important question. Next question number 6. Let us see some important questions. It is preferred. It is preferred to bleach paper using to bleach paper using dash instead of using bleaching powder. Instead of bleaching powder. So this question is also important based on water pollution. So option A is hydrogen peroxide plus catalyst. Hydrogen peroxide plus catalyst. Option B, it is sodium oxychloride. Option C, it is sulfur dioxide. And option D, it is chlorine gas. So you already know it is nothing but H2O2 plus Cl catalyst is used nowadays. So the answer is first option. Next, question number 7. How many of the following, this is very important regarding water pollution. How many of the following in drinking water? How many of the following in drinking water below 30 ppm, below 30 parts per million do not cause any effect on the body, do not cause any effect on the body as per international standards of water, as per international standards of water. So the ions are, they are given lead ions Pb plus 2, comma, mercury Hg plus 2, comma, manganese plus 2, Cd plus 2, Cl minus, nitrate minus, SO4 2 minus, sulfate ions, and Ca plus 2, comma, magnesium plus 2. So which should be there in these? We have to identify the numbers. So first option we have 5. Second option we have 2. Third option is 3. And fourth option, it is 6. So out of these ions, which ions are being allowed in water, which ions are being allowed in water, so that based on that, so that below 30 ppm do not cause any effect on the body as per international standards of water. So the answer is, for this it is fourth option, that is 6. So what are those 6 also? I'll write here: calcium ions, magnesium ions, 1, 2. Next I'm going to write, please note it down. Calcium, magnesium, manganese, copper. We do not have copper here. Calcium, magnesium, manganese. And we have lead, sulfate ions, and lead, sulfate ions, nitrate ions, that is NO3 minus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 6 which can be available in water. Remaining should not be present in water below 30 ppms. So this question is very, very important. Next, question number 8. So these are the important questions based on environmental chemistry. Better medium of, next question we have, better medium of chemical reaction. Better medium of chemical reaction. Better medium of chemical reaction according to green chemistry is, according to green chemistry is, option A, it is water. Option B, it is ether. Option C, it is ammonia. And option 4, it is benzene. Ammonia. And option 4, it is benzene. So the better medium of reaction in according to green chemistry is, so the answer is, so first option we have water, ether, ammonia and benzene. So answer is water. So water is a better chemical reaction. Next question, question number 9. Question number 9. Let us see now. Just make a note. Beyond which minimum concentration? Beyond which minimum concentration? Minimum concentration. Beyond which minimum concentration flow in water becomes useless for drinking purpose. Flow in water, flow in ions water becomes useless for drinking purpose. So what is the answer now? You can see here options. Option A, 10 ppm. Option B, it is 5 ppm parts per million. Option C, 2 ppm. And option D, it is 20 ppm. So beyond which minimum concentration of flow in water becomes useless for drinking purpose. So they are given the options. We are given the options here now. That is 10 ppm, 5 ppm, 2 ppm and 20 ppm. So answer is 2 ppm. Answer is how much? It is 2 ppm. Next question. Question number 10. This is the last question we are discussing now. After this, we'll end up this session. So whatever we have discussed, you have to follow. Next, TLV values. Threshold limit values of X, Y and Z pollutants. Pollutants are 9, 10, 15 ppm respectively. 15 ppm respectively. So they are given 9, 10. X is 9 ppm, Y is 10 ppm, and Z is 15 ppm respectively. Which is more toxic? Which is more toxic? So answer we have. So answer for this we have Z is less toxic. So Z is less toxic than X and Y. So I'm writing the answer direct solution here. So you can take it as solution. Z is less toxic than X and Y. And here, what is the value of Z? 15 ppm. So X is more toxic. X is more toxic than Y and Z, because lesser the value of TLV, more is the toxic nature. Lesser the value of TLV, more is the toxic nature. So these are the important questions we have discussed so far. So with this, we have completed this environmental chemistry complete chapter. So all the 3 lectures are very important. Please listen carefully and follow the questions as we have discussed here. And these questions are very important. And apart by using these slides, PPTs you have to write in the classwork. Easily you can solve many questions in this. So with this, I'm ending this session. Thank you all.